tundra to mountains, oceans, villages, and towns, from art to wildlife, glaciers to thousands of miles of rivers and lakes, Alaska, a place that breeds discovery.
AFN has so many wonderful qualities, but always one of the most unique qualities that occurs at AFN is when you gaze out into the crowd, you'll see Eskimos and Indians, Athabascans, Aleuts, Sukpiks, Chupiks, all sitting together, watching the performers on stage, everyone bonded together in unity and harmony. Such things are rare in the Native community worldwide. And it's often remarked by other visiting tribes how the Alaska Natives, especially at AFN, come together in such unity and harmony that they take this back to their people and say, this is what we need to aspire to, this level of unity and harmony that exists within AFN.
Hey, hey, ah, hey, 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 ah, hey, ah, oh, hey, 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 ah, hey, 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 ah, ay, ah, you, hey, 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 ah, hey, 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 ah, hey, 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 ah, hey, ah, oh, hey, 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 ah, hey, 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 ah, ay, ah, you, illumine our hearts, grant us discerning eyes and attentive ears. Illumine our hearts, grant us discerning eyes and attentive ears. Diki on Kahu, grant thine infinite bestowals. Hey, hey, ah, hey, 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 ah, ay, ah, you, and let the light of thy guidance shine. Hey, hey, ah, hey, 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 ah, ay, ah, you, illumine our hearts, grant us discerning eyes and attentive ears. Illumine our hearts, grant us discerning eyes and attentive ears. Open the box of true understanding. Hey, hey, ah, hey, 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 ah, hey, ah.
Lou and I had a policy and a philosophy about life, about the human being. And I'd like to suggest that maybe we all should follow that policy. It's easy to hate because hate destroys. It does not build. It's hard to love, but when you love, you build, you survive, and you contribute to mankind. The reason I mention that is you have come a long ways. On the first AFN convention in Fairbanks was 50 delegates, 4,000 people who's in Anchorage today. You are the largest economic driving force in Alaska today. It's not oil, it's Alaska Native people. You have great leaders. You have a great association with one another, which did not exist many years ago. You work together and you fuse together, which is good, and you discuss issues. But when there's a challenge before you, such as been mentioned today, the legal aspect, subsistence aspect, tribal rights, there's enough great brains in this group to sit down and find solutions that can work and will work within the state of Alaska. Without animosity, but with trying to solve a problem through loving the human being. I am here to tell you I listen. As I mentioned earlier on, together we can achieve great goals for the state of Alaska, but more than that, for the Alaska Native people. My commitment to you is to continue that effort, to listen and to provide and achieve for the good of all. God bless you all.
Quite often when a group performs, they'll save at least one or two of their songs as an invitational to the spectators. And what they'll do is they'll ask anybody who wants to come up and dance with them to come up and do so. And you don't even have to know the dance, you just follow someone who knows what they're doing.
Uvanga Mary Jane Litchard from Nome, Alaska. I'm from the Inupiaq, the most northern in Alaska. The story I heard about the drummings from the elder was that it's connected to a very ancient story of this giant eagle. Some cultures call him the thunderbird. It was a very huge bird, and the story is that it was in the Wales area. There was one that kept scaring the people there in that village in the old times. And this giant bird would go dive into the water and grab a huge whale, like a bullhead whale, and drop it on the sharp rocks. And when it dropped, the impact would bust open the whale, and the bird would like to eat the soft intestines and some of the blubber, and then leave the rest to waste. And I believe that those were the birds that contribute to a lot of the whale bones that were littered when the people were migrated to that part of the world and found all these hundreds upon hundreds of whale bones, giant bones. One young man wanted to kill the bird because he was just tired of how everybody was afraid of this bird, and they said that he hid in the rock, under a rock, and when the bird landed to feast on that whale that he just dropped, he came off from the rock and pierced it at his heart, and it died right away. He skinned it, rolled it up. The bird skin was so huge that he fell asleep. He was so exhausted he fell asleep, and he had a dream of these two bird people dancing and singing to him. And they instructed him, they said, "You have killed the last of the giant bird," and the mother is very saddened, and to comfort her heart, she wants your people to do something to comfort her sorrow. And so he went to the council house and told them his dream, and they really listened to that dream. And that's how Eskimo dancing got started. And so he taught them the song, and they tried all different ways of matching the thunderbird's heartbeat. And then someone discovered that if you stretch walrus stomach over this rim and you beat it, it sounds just like the heartbeat of a giant bird.
Check out our website at exploringalaska.com.